if every other racer out there says the exact same thing as you, then that's not your brand. That's
Mhm.
just you blending in, and that's why sponsors won't partner with you. Hello and welcome again to the Racer on Demand show. I'm Amanda Vandenelzen and I'm joined with Megan Meyer, my co-host. Hi.
Hello.
And as most of you know, I've been spending a lot of time looking at racers' social media profiles. I've been doing Instagram audits, and from the viewpoint of a sponsor, I've been looking at what are people doing right? What are people doing wrong? And today, Megan and I are going to be talking all about social media and how racers can leverage social media to drive more value through their programs, position themselves to be better advocates for their sponsors and attract better sponsorships based on what they've got going on there. So I know, Megan, you've got a ton of expertise in the social media side from the work that you've done in the past too.
Yeah, just learning as I go, right? And so for us, I started using social media early on, which thankfully at that time there wasn't a whole lot of noise or a whole lot of users, so it was pretty easy to grow and get seen. But, compared to now, like 15 years later, it's completely different. So I'm excited to talk about what's new, the changes that are happening. I mean, sometimes it's daily that happens with these platforms, and you always just got to be ready for that next thing because you never know. One thing that, might be working for the past couple days or weeks or months might not work anymore. And that's just the
Yeah.
nature of the game. But I love your series that you've been doing. And it's like helped grow your following too, right? Because what did you start at and where are you at now?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh.
Oh my God. My whole mic just broke. It's just like,
Oh my gosh. Can you fix it?
I don't think I can.
Uh-oh.
I have to steal it off the other mic. Like,
Oh my gosh.
the whole
Oh,
bracket, like, literally broke off.
wow.
Okay,
You're just gonna have to hold it.
please hold. All right, we're
You
back in
good?
action. I'm going to just reach around this to grab my phone now.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I started doing my series, I was at 587 followers, and that was 55 days ago, and now I'm at
Okay.
2,326.
Wow.
So I've
That's
gotten,
awesome.
what, 1,700 followers in 50 some odd
Yeah.
days. So yeah,
Yeah.
more
That's awesome.
more than more than quadruple what I had
Yeah.
before. So yeah,
Yeah.
the goal
That's
is
awesome.
10,000 followers. But what I learned in that though is like I was providing value in my posts, but I wasn't tying it back to my audience well enough, right? Like it wasn't personal feeling enough. And as soon as I added in the personal touch, it was like I'm still telling people the exact same things, but I'm telling them one by one, this is exactly what you are doing wrong and how you can fix it. And people are coming along for the ride, even though I'm still telling them the exact same
Mhm.
things as what I was before. So
Yeah. And have you seen them actually implement changes?
oh man, you know what? I feel like that's every
Is that
like
a loaded
learning and
question?
development kind of kind of. I feel like every learning and development person like that's the struggle is like, oh, people love to consume the information, but are they actually applying it in what they do?
Mhm.
And you know what? I have to put on my marketing brain and my business brain and say some people are just not my customers and they're just not the ones who are going to finish the course like you've talked about before, right? Like they're not going to finish the course, they're not going to apply the advice. And I have seen some people though that have made changes and those people are immediately seeing results. Did I
Good.
tell you about the little kid with the F1 drivers and stuff?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. So on day 10, I reviewed this little kid. He had like a couple hundred followers and his name's Elon and he just started go-kart racing, like just started. He's like 5 or 6 years old And, he told his parents that he wants to be an F1 driver, and he's just obsessed with F1. But his parents, like, don't know anything about racing, so they put him in a go-kart, and they started this Instagram page for him, and I reviewed him and I said, "We wanna hear his voice more, like, have him tell us what he's excited about and whatnot," and they
Yeah.
created a video of him asking his dad. He runs up and he goes, "Papa, how many likes do I need in order to go to an F1 race?" And I think he told him, like, 10,000 likes or something. Well, that video is up to, like, 9,000,000 likes. Like,
Wow.
it's gone completely viral,
Yeah.
and he said, like, "You have to have at least one F1 driver comment on your post," and so, he's had, like, a whole gamut of F1 drivers say,
Oh.
like, "Come out to the paddocks." He's had the races are, like, giving him tickets and, like, flying him out to these races and
Wow.
stuff.
Oh my
And
gosh, that's crazy.
his grandma messaged me and she was like, "You helped Ilan go viral." Like, I'm so
Oh.
excited. And it just like that is not going to be the case for everybody, right? Like that
Right?
is not going to happen to everybody, but to have that as just like them reaching out saying like you helped make this happen by like bringing his voice out and man,
Oh,
what
I
a
love
cool thing.
that. Yeah. Aw. Yeah, I know, that's, like, one of the reasons why, like, I really got into, coaching and teaching because it's so, like, feel good when you're able to help out someone else, and, yeah, it's a completely different sport, so it has, like, literally nothing to do with you, like, not gonna help you out in any way, but it's just
Yes.
so cool to see them, yeah, like, have it click in their head and have, you know, could be a life-changing thing that happens, and it's just so cool, and it feels so good.
Yes, yes, and you know what, like, that video was clearly, staged by his parents, right? But the next one, where they got to tell him that he had over 1,000,000 likes,
Oh, yeah, and get his
um
reaction.
yes, that one has almost as many views as the original video, and that's the one that I think really, like, hooked people into this
Mm.
little boy, like, that was his personality coming out and his passion for it coming out, and, you know,
Aw, I love
that's where it's
that.
exciting.
Yeah, okay, I'll have to go back and see. I'm sure I saw that. I'm sure I
Yeah,
did, but yeah, I'll
but
have to go back and see.
he was just a couple 100 followers then.
Yeah,
Now he's
that's
got
cute.
tens of thousands, if not he might have broken 100, I don't know. He's
Wow.
doing amazing though. And
Yeah.
and their follow-up content is good, so that's exciting.
Yeah, because that's where yeah, you need to have good follow-up content, you can't just be a one-hit wonder, so
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
yeah.
people, like, they think, "Well, when I go viral, I'll create good content," but it's like, "Okay, but if you go viral, nobody's gonna actually keep up with you if they look at your profile and they don't connect to something," you know?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where, like, we talked about, like, why building your brand is so important and being able to know, like, what are your values? Like, what do you want people to think about you, say about you? Like, what do you wanna be remembered as? And,
Yeah.
like, always like, it's so important to do that work, and I know it takes time, and it might seem silly to some people, but it actually will make a difference, and if you, like, are very firm and rooted in your values, which they can change,
Mhm.
you can evolve and lean towards one way more, that's okay, but just showing, like, yeah, your humanity, being yourself, being vulnerable, being authentic online,
Yeah.
that is like what you always say, that's what's gonna bring the people in to want to follow you and learn more about you.
Yes. Yes, I love that so much, and one of the things that I've seen racers doing as I've been preaching to them, you've got to find a differentiator. What's your brand? Is so many racers are saying, well, my brand is that I'm always chasing checkers, or I'm
Mm,
trying to cut my
yeah,
lap times, or, like I want to be an F1 racer when I grow up. And it's like, you guys, like, you're not
it's really
standing
not
out.
that different, yeah. I mean,
No.
yeah, we're all racers, we're all trying to get the better lap times.
Yes, exactly, and, like, if every other racer out there says the exact same thing as you, then that's not your brand, that's just
Mhm.
you blending in, and that's why sponsors won't partner with you, Like,
Mhm.
think outside the track. What are you doing outside the track? Or why are you racing? And how is that different than why the person next to you is racing? And, just yesterday I reviewed one that said racing for women's rights. And I was like, cool, that's
Mm.
a really cool
Yeah.
stance to take. How is she doing that? And I looked through her content and I saw nothing about it.
Mm.
And it's like, well, a brand or a differentiator has to be like so innate to you that every single piece of content you put out is pointing back to that in some way,
Mhm.
and if she's racing for women's rights, then I want to hear about that in every single piece of content she puts out, whether that's
Yeah.
on the track or off.
Yeah. Do you do you know who it was?
Oh,
Don't
Moxie
knock over
something.
your mic again.
Yeah, my mic stand again.
'Cause I wonder if she is associated with the Shift Up Now group or the Women in Motorsports North America group, because those would be 2 organizations that she could
Yeah,
really help, they
align
could, yeah,
with.
align with, yeah.
Yes, her name is Moxie Azevedo.
Okay.
Um,
I'll have to look
thir
her up.
yeah, 13-year-old karting driver.
Aw, okay.
Yeah, but she was my review yesterday, so she'll be easy to find, she's tagged there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, okay, and to go, like, what you were just saying to, like, stand out and be a differentiator. Like, I loved your video you did about the trashy reality TV show and how, like,
Yes.
you know exactly who each person is, and that's how we need I mean, we don't need a trashy reality show,
Maybe we
but
do.
I mean, I've honestly thought like, when I was younger so John Force's family did a reality TV show, and I was, like, a teenager at the time, and I thought, "Oh my god, it's so cool if we did one," because, like, there's a lot of drama between me and my sister and our dad, and it's like, we would have a good reality TV show, I think, but nobody would wanna do
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Everybody would just clam up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So our spotter Robert, he used to work with the LeDukes before Kyle passed, and he was with them forever. Like he basically just grew up on their race team. They were his family. He lived with Kyle and Amber for a while. Like he was ingrained in that family. And he said that at one point they did film a reality TV show, but
Yeah?
it never aired.
Oh.
But it was called LeDukes of Hazard.
Oh my gosh.
And he said that, like, 90% of the time, it was just them, like, fucking with the camera people more than
Oh.
anything.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
that would be so awkward, but
it would be. It would be so awkward. I feel like once you got into the, like, norm of it, like, once it became just normal to have them there, it would be a lot of fun and probably, like, really help to define your brand, but
Mhm.
Um, yeah, the very first parts of it would be like, "I don't wanna say this on TV."
Right, yeah, yeah. Well, I will say okay, so speaking of that, First to the Finish, which is on Amazon Prime, was amazing documentary. It followed 3 girls that are doing the road course racing, the Mazda series, and, through Shift Up Now, I know these 3 girls that were, like, the main characters that they had on there, so it's so cool because I've never really watched the Mazdas race before, so it's cool to learn about that and see because yeah, it went all behind the scenes, went home with them. Shay Holbrook, who's a good friend of mine, show her, being a mom, which I really connect with. And she is just like this powerhouse, like entrepreneur. And so she was a speaker at last year's Women in Motorsports North America event, which happens on Tuesday, Wednesday before PRI show.
Yeah.
And so they had a whole panel talking about the reality show and how, with the F1 Drive to Survive, how that's just blown up F1. And like, I mean, like, we're people that had never watched F1 before until we saw that first season and then we were hooked. And so they basically the panel was all about how we need to get more shows that cover motorsports and how it could help us reach new audiences and show the behind the scenes and show the personalities of the drivers because usually you don't really learn much about the drivers on TV unless they're able
Yeah.
to get out and do their interviews and all that stuff. Otherwise you just see them racing on the track, you don't really know who that person is. And, so that's where the shows, like, do a really good job,
Yes.
to show, "Hey, like, this is a real human being, this is their daily life outside of the car," all the tension and everything that happens at the track too, so that was really cool. So, but, I mean, yeah, exactly with that, you're able to see them building their own brands, how their personalities differ from each other, their experiences, because they all have completely different backgrounds and all different ages. So it's cool to see how each of their stories are unique. And I think
Yes.
we can all do the same thing with social media because it's free. We have it. We
Yeah.
don't need to have a TV crew there with us,
Yeah.
but it's just being comfortable on camera, I think, is the biggest struggle that I see with
Yes.
people, and I'm guilty of it too, but
Yeah,
I just gotta
same.
force myself to do it.
Yeah, no, I love that parallel that you just drew of, like, when these people are on these TV shows, they're a character, right? I'm gonna put that in quotes, right? Because the producers are saying, like, "Hey, this person stands out from this, and this person stands out from this, and we're gonna highlight that and, like, hone in on it and say, like, this is what's defining this character in the show, and this is what's defining that character in the show, and this is how they all play together in this storyline that exists," right? Like, these shows are not creating a story that doesn't exist. They're highlighting a story that's happening, and they're basically glamorizing it by
Mhm,
really, like, honing in on just that storyline and the characters' features, I guess, or their personalities and how they play into that story. And so I think as we're developing our own social media content, like you said, we can build our own storyline. We can define what our character looks like. And, that's going to be way easier if it's truly authentically ourselves.
yeah,
But, we have to be able to think like a TV producer, and a TV producer isn't thinking about what is that person, they're thinking about who is the audience and what are they gonna relate to. And I
mhm.
think if we can just, like, take those pieces, put them in a jar, shake them up, and say, "Who's my audience? What do they want out of this jar?" and pick just those pieces out, like, all of our social media would be so much better.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and that's, like, the first thing that someone can do is look at their insights, and, I mean, it'll just give you the basics of gender, age, location, but you'll be able to kinda use that as a good starting ground
Mhm.
of, like, if you're a female like us, maybe it's like a 50-50 split of men versus women, so you could do more feminine content with it
Mhm.
versus, if you are a guy, you're gonna probably have 95% of a male following. So you'll know, hey, like, depending on who that audience is, I can tweak just your perspective, I think, around it. Like, you could take, like, the
Yeah.
same, like, if you're in the shop working on your car, like, you could do the same thing, but have a different perspective of how you say it and, like, the storyline. I love that you mentioned that because I've been putting a lot more effort into YouTube, and I need to do a better job of, like, thinking like a producer, and how can I use this long form video as more of to tell a story versus just, like, I kinda been treating it more just like documenting what we've been doing, and
Yeah.
I've been doing all the editing myself, and so, like, they do okay, but I feel like, yeah, if I followed more of a story, then it could be, just get better views. It could be more entertaining to watch. So I'm actually working on one right now that I'm going to publish in 2 days, and it's just all about the drama that we've been having of doing this short course car, and then the day before we wanna leave for a race, we find out there's a broken part, so then we have to miss the race, and then we can't get a new part, and what we ordered was wrong, and then the drama of, like, building an Ultra 4 car, taking a side by side that's completely stock and trying to turn it into this, monster truck of a race car, and I've been, like, it's been about 3 months that I've just been, like, filming everything, and I was like, "I wanna put this, like, into a video," but I had no idea, like, how I was going to do it. So I had
Yeah.
actually had used my AI friend ChatGPT of, like, "Okay, here's, like, everything I have, like, how can I make this into a good video and, like, tell the story of, like, the struggles that we've had and the everything we're learning because this is all new to both of us, and, we know, like, as we're going, like, "Oh, we forgot to order this, and we forgot this, and we're still waiting on this and this," and even today, like, we still don't have all of like, I ordered some new safety gear, still don't have that yet. Um, Still don't have all of our stickers done for the cars, and, like, we're supposed to be loading up tonight, and it's like, okay, like, there's still some, like, stress and, like, nerves, so I'll be filming that too, but it's like, okay, I wanna actually, like, yeah, kind of think of this as, like, a show that would be
Yes.
entertaining to watch instead of just, like, kind of a typical YouTube video.
Yes, 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 yes. And what I love about like you coming into this is you already kind of know vaguely like what the story looks like, right? And I think a lot of times we get caught up in like, but I don't know how this ends. And it's like, well, how do you want it to end? You know? Like that's what story you should be telling is this is the goal that I have in place for the end of this story. And really if we want people to follow along, we have to have a bunch of stories happening at the same time, right? We've got this overarching story of like our season, perhaps, or maybe the year, or this event that's coming up in 6 months, like this is what I'm working towards. But then we kind of have to have episodes too, right? Like your long form content isn't just standalone. This is one piece and this is something completely separate in the next like episode, so to speak. It's like we're working towards, building this car into an Ultra 4 machine, and follow along through that long story. But each episode has to have its own story too, right? That has to have a
Mhm,
beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So if we're building this car and that's the big story, well, then maybe the episode is like this weekend we're working on the suspension and we need to get it to this point in order to be on track for that big story of having this car ready by, X time. And it's like, we have to be really intentional about knowing what that looks like. And that means having clear goals, having clear timelines, and understanding what content we need to capture in order to be able to tell that story. So I love the fact that you brought in ChatGPT to help you align that. But if you didn't already kind of have those vague ideas in your head, you wouldn't have even known what content to capture, too.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, and, like, I think the car builders do a really good job of this because a lot of them are YouTubers,
Mhm.
and, they've got hundreds of thousands of views, and, yeah, like, their end goal, let's say it's a SEMA build that they're doing, so then they do episodes of, like, "Okay, this weekend we did the suspension, and then this weekend we did I don't know, paint, or this one weekend we did the interior, and so, yeah, like, they film, like, each step of the way working
Mhm.
towards that end goal of having this really cool SEMA build, and, like, like, there's a bunch of those shows, like, on TV, like the Motor Trend, um, Hot Rod Garage, like, all that stuff, and, like
Yes.
growing up, it was the Chopper Show with
Yeah,
Jesse
West Coast
James.
choppers.
Yeah, my dad really liked that one, and then there was I don't it was like a father and son, or maybe there's, like, 2 sons. I don't remember what it was called, but, like, I remember growing up, like, my dad was really into those shows, and so we'd watch them
Yes.
sometimes. But yeah,
Or
like,
even
they
like, Chip Foose, remember, like, that
yeah.
was big
Was
all the
he
time.
the Monkey Garage?
No.
Or is there a Monkey
Um,
Garage one?
Gas Monkey
Gas
Garage. Yeah,
Monkey Garage,
that's
yeah.
Richard
Oh, yeah,
Rawlings, I
Richard
think.
Rawlings, that's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Um
Chip Foose guy, he's an older guy, right?
No, not, like,
I don't
terribly old.
know.
I'm trying to think of what the name of his
I
show
know, like,
was.
his I recognize the name, but, like, I can't picture him.
Hold on.
I don't
Okay,
know.
Google. What is the name of Chip Foose's show from the 2000s? Overhaulin'.
Overhaul Okay, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah. That one was like, they would, like, take people's classic cars and he would, like, rebuild them without their knowledge and
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
yeah.
that's exciting.
And then, like, return them all finished.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, so, like, yeah, they've got a story, each episode tells a story, like, it's cool, it's exciting, it's engaging, and, yeah, I think, like, for racers, like, we're so caught up in the moment and, like, getting to the racetrack, doing the race. Okay, now we gotta get ready for the next race, and we forget to, like, document the journey and, yeah, like, think of it as, like, a story, and, like, it does take a lot of prep work
Mhm.
before you do start filming of, like, "Okay, how do I want this story to go?" Like, if I don't prep a piece of content or like a YouTube video, then I'll have like a crappy beginning because like I'll forget to record an intro. So then I'll have to like just go do something really quick, like while I'm editing it, just so I can have something as an intro. So yeah, like I need to map it out. Like, what's the story that I want to tell here? And I'm learning as I go. Like I'm getting
Yes.
better as with it, but it's also one of those things where it's like done is better than perfect, and you're not gonna learn if you don't hit publish or if you don't hit record
Yes.
and actually just get something out there and then just, learn a little bit more for the next time.
Yes, and you know what I love about, like, what you're documenting and what you're choosing to document, and I think where some of that prep work comes in too is, like, if you know what your brand is, then you know how you wanna present yourself, you know the things that you need to consistently talk about, but you're also more prepared to bring the human side of it in too, because oftentimes I see racers telling their, and I'm gonna put this in quotes, "their story," but it's really just like a recap of events that happened.
Mhm. Yeah.
But, like, good content that's episodic and, like, a story draws people in because of the human element of that. Like, the shows we were just talking about, right? Like, the Gas Monkey Garage and West Coast Choppers and stuff, like, you don't watch that show just because they're building something cool. You watch that show because they're yelling at each other or they're, like, so excited to do this big reveal and somebody's crying when they get their car back, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the trashy dating shows like we were talking about before, or even,
Yeah.
like the F1 series, right? You're
Yeah.
watching this because you feel like you know the people. And if the content that you're creating doesn't get to a point where people can feel like they know you, then honestly you're failing and you're not going to build your following, which means you're not going to be providing value to your sponsors.
Mhm.
Sponsors.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sponsors.
Well, like, I mean, even think of, like, any show out there, like a Fixer Upper with, like, Chip and Joanna Gaines, like, that blew up because people fell in love with Chip and Jo. Like, it's
Yes.
not because of, like, the house. I mean, yeah, like, what they're doing with houses and all the interior design and all that is cool, but, yeah, like, people just love Chip and Jo, and that's when they created their Magnolia place, like, with the silos, like, I've visited there before, and it like, they were able to expand their brand outside of just being on a TV show into
Mhm.
something that's real life, where they then have control over, the sales and stuff. Because 'cause I'm assuming, like, with a TV show, if you're just a character, you can't really control much, with that. And then, yeah, like they started their own TV series, and I think maybe they have their own channel or their whole own, what's it called? I don't know. But
Like
anyways, like,
network?
yeah, their own network. I don't know if they do. I think they do.
I don't know.
Um, but yeah, like, people just fell in love with them, and
Yes.
then because they were themselves, they showed themselves being mom and dad when they weren't on the job site, and it's just cool because yeah, people just connected with them, like, "Hey, yeah, like, they're just a human being as well." Like, I see myself in them, especially now that I'm a mom, I can totally relate to them, and it's just so cool.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Like, racers who are struggling to brand themselves and who are struggling to have this cohesive story and differentiate themselves and stuff, like, every single one of you is watching TV. Every single one of you is watching these YouTube videos. Like, instead of watching for entertainment, watch to figure out, why are people connecting with these people? What are the
Mhm,
things that they're saying and doing that and showing that are causing you to want to follow along, and take that back. Not word for word, not steal their script, not steal their story, but take the pieces of like, how are they talking about what they're doing? Or what are
Mhm,
they showing me that makes me want to watch more? Or like, why do I feel like I know this person? Like take that back to your own content and learn from it. Don't just be entertained by it.
mhm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll have, like, a couple of celebrities and that I'll go, even just, like, bigger influencers. I'll just go and,
Yeah.
like, research their last couple of posts, and so like, they do, like, turn it, like, by episodes, like, they have, like, mini series of, like, say, if it is, like, a renovation, it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna be renovating this bedroom, and here's, like, a 10-part series 10 different reels of how I'm gonna do it and stuff. So, yeah, so I love to, yeah, get inspiration from that, and, I know, like, we've talked about having, like, separate, like, personal accounts, like, on Instagram and stuff, so, yeah, so I've got a separate personal one, and I actually don't follow any racers because I want to get out of that mindset, like the motorsports world. I want to go and see, like,
Yes.
what's working in other industries, whether it's sports or design or parenthood, and see, like, what's kind of working over here, what's like a hook that they're using, whether it's the visual one or text. Yeah, like, how are they documenting it? What are they doing on stories? And so then I'll come back and use that as inspiration, especially when I just feel like I've been in a slump, yeah, like, nothing's working right now, like, I'll need just a little, pick me up of like, "Okay, here's something cool and exciting that I could do."
Yes, yes, I love that so much. When I've been reviewing these racer profiles, there were a bunch of suggestions for me to review a racer who's doing it really well. Like, "Hey, can you just, like, share a profile
Oh.
of somebody who is knocking it out of the park?" And I really struggled with honestly finding any racers that I was like, "This is what people should emulate."
Ooh.
Because of what you're talking about, like, I don't get my ideas from motorsports. Like, I'm the same, like, I'll follow other creators and things that are so far outside of the motorsports niche because, like, I feel like we sit so close to this, like, problem that it's hard to see the
Yeah.
solution sometimes. And
Mhm,
and also, I don't know if I can think of a racer that's doing, like, a really stellar job like some people are in other niches. Like, I think there's more to be learned outside of motorsports to be brought back in. It's part of the reason why we're trying to grow motorsports, right? Is because
mhm.
there's not a ton of really great examples of great social media in motorsports yet.
Yeah. Now that you say that, so I agree because, like, I'll follow the big names, like, in NHRA, the top fuel teams, even, like, NASCAR or IndyCar, like, I'll follow those, like, big names.
Mhm.
And I'll see that they really don't post that often. If they do post, it's obvious that they had a social media manager do it, that it's not coming from them,
Yes.
and it's usually just an advertisement or a sponsor promo that they had to do, and or it's just, like, just a carousel of, like, pictures for, like, a race recap or something like that, and you can like, it's just cold. Like, you can tell,
Yes.
like, this professional driver is not actually using this account or posting on it, and yeah, I mean, you can tell. So I love that you said that because
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, like, that is true, like, there's really not someone that comes to, like, the top of my mind that does it well, or if they are, like, a professional that is using their own account, then it's, like, kind of really obvious because then it's a little sporadic, it's not, like, high quality, it's kind of all over the place, but at least they're
Yeah.
doing it, but there's
Yes.
there's kinda there's not that, like, storyline or flow or consistency with it, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I
the
think we
brand
need to
consistency.
yeah, like, we've got, like, 2 extremes, and I think we need to, like, come in the middle.
Yes, yes, and you know what? Like, I've had people when I'm like, "Hey, don't do this on your profiles, like, you need a better profile picture," or, like, "Let's consistently do this." I've had people tag F1 drivers and go, "But they're not doing that, like, their profile isn't doing this,
Oh.
and look at how many followers they have." And I think what people are missing is that, like, your following is not always because of the character you are on social media. Like F1 drivers right now, they have this huge following because of the Netflix series, right? And
Mhm,
so people feel connected to that driver, but not because of what they're posting on Instagram. People feel connected to
mhm.
that driver because they've just spent, however many weeks with that person literally in their living room, feeling like they were getting to know
Yes.
them. And so it's like, okay, but if you were producing the content that actually made them feel connected to that person, then you would have a bigger following too.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, and I think sometimes, like, racers wanna rely on the series to do that job for them. Like, if you
Mhm.
do have broadcasting or, like, a live stream, like, they want the series to blow them up and make them into this person that's gonna get a lot of airtime, or the announcers to talk about them all the time instead of them, like, doing the work themselves. Like, they kinda expect that
Yes.
to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and then they just, like, yeah, like, don't they just wanna blame them, right? But
Yes.
also to kinda, like, add on to that, if your series does have if you got an announcer, if it's recorded, if you have a live stream or a broadcast, like, and you want them to talk about you, then go ask them, because that's, like,
Yes.
one thing that, like, I'll hear from, like, announcers, like, that this was always something that I did is, we fill out our text sheet, and they might have a spot of, like, "Okay, what do you want announcers to say?" Like, if you don't fill that out, then they won't know, like, what to say about you, like, who are your sponsors or your past accomplishments? Or you could
Yes.
send them an email before the race and be like, "Hey, here's a paragraph of my story and how I got to this point." Or whoever's, the interviewer that does maybe like with NHRA, they do like top end interviews. And so like if that person doesn't get to know you, they're not going to want to interview you or ask you good questions. And so
Yes.
you got to kind of do the work behind the scenes to get on their radar too, if that is an option and if that's what you want.
Yes, I love that you said that, both pieces of that, because, like, first off, I do think that there is an opportunity for a lot of series to promote their drivers more and,
Yeah.
frankly, to produce them as characters a lot more. That's one thing that I really loved when we went to go see, Super Motocross in Vegas, not the time when Chris went to go see you, but the time before that we were in
Oh
Vegas, they
yeah.
had Super Motocross, so we went out there, um and we were watching, like, the opening ceremonies, and every single driver had, like, a personal video, like, one of them was, like, dancing with his dog,
Ah.
and, like,
Yeah.
another one was, like, dressed as a cowboy, and, like, when we're talking about, like, what is your trashy dating show persona, like, if you can say the one dancing with his dog or the one dressed as a cowboy,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's so huge, and the series absolutely do have opportunities. Like, I know that in our series, I wish that we got more coverage as the people behind the race cars. And I think
Mhm.
there are a lot of series out there that could benefit from telling better stories about their racers. But
Mhm.
that's not something racers can fix necessarily. And I love the fact that you said, like, if your announcers don't know your story, then how are they supposed to tell it? And I will tell
Yeah.
you from our race team, so we get along really well with both of the announcers in our series, as well as our trackside reporter. And it's really simple, even if you don't know
Yeah.
them that well, to shoot them a Facebook message and be like, hey, here's the story that's going on from our pits this weekend, right?
Mhm.
We were out here last week and we completely blew up our motor. And, it was a mad dash to get it in, and we have no test
Yeah.
time coming into this race. And so, like, that's what's going on in our pits right now coming into this race. And 9 times out of 10, when they're going through the lineup, before the race, they'll say, "And I got a message from behind the scenes from this team.
Mm.
Guess what? They're out
Yeah.
here with no test time. Can they win this?" And it doesn't stop there either, because the announcers are tied to the production team. And we were just talking about how producers look for a story. Well, no surprise,
Yep.
after a couple of years of us telling the announcers, hey, this is our story, this is our story, this is our story, the producers in our pits going, hey, how can we tell your story, right? Hey, do you guys want to put together? I know
Yeah.
you're doing some cool giveaway stuff this weekend. Why don't you guys put together a quick video, shoot it my way, and I'll run it all weekend?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
they're looking for these stories. They want to tell the stories, but
Mhm,
nobody is taking the initiative to go and tell their own story.
mhm.
Most people don't even know what is their own story. And
Yeah.
like the series, the production teams, they're hungry for it.
Mhm. Yeah, they really are because that's gonna just make their coverage so much better too and have more people
Mhm.
come to watch it because they wanna see that stories. But yeah, I think people just, like, they don't think they have an interesting story. And because yeah, like, we're so, like, caught up in the moment that, yeah, we don't, like, take it the step back or we don't what's the saying? See the forest through the trees or something like that. I don't
Yes.
know. I probably
Yes.
didn't say that right.
No, you
Um,
did. You got it.
okay. Okay, good. But yeah, like, kinda like, what's that like, take a step back, what's that, like, 20,000-foot view of, like, what it is you're doing and, yeah, like, how you got here. Because yeah, like, they are
Mhm.
hungry for those stories, and that was always something that I think just because I think when I got into racing, like, I had to learn how to, like, write press releases for my dad, and I would send out, like, a recap to our sponsors, and so I kinda had that, uh, media side of it before I really got into media, and so that was something then, like, when I started racing, I just naturally was, like, already sending stuff out, like, already, getting to know the people who are doing the production and the interviews, and so they would just, like, kind of organically, like, gravitate toward us and wanna share our story just because we had built a relationship with them, and it wasn't like, "Hey, we're begging for attention." It's just like, "Here's
Yes.
something that you could say," like a quick one-minute blurb that you could say about us, or, "Hey, this is the sponsor that we're promoting this weekend." Or even also how to pronounce the sponsor correctly because sometimes
Yes.
they
Or your
don't know
own
and, like,
name.
yeah, or your name, because 'cause we've had that happen too, because, yeah, if they don't know how to say it correctly, they're not gonna say it because they don't wanna look like a fool. So, it's important to, like, do a voice text or, tell them how to say it because then that way they'll
Yes.
be more confident in sharing it, as well. So, that's something that I've learned over the years.
I love that tip so much. Yes. And like, and it takes nothing to just like, frankly, to walk up
Mhm,
before the show starts, right? And say, like, hey, I'm so and so. Because some announcers, like our announcers, they'll walk the pits, and if they don't know somebody, they'll walk up and introduce themselves. They'll ask pronunciation and stuff. But that's a ton of footwork on their plate that a lot of
mhm.
announcers won't do. But
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah, they
just
don't
like
do that in drag
walk up.
racing.
Yeah, I would imagine not. I would imagine not. But, if you can take that initiative, take some work off of their plate and make their job easier, like nobody is ever going to turn you down when you're making their job easier, but it
Yeah.
requires you to shift focus from me to them, right? Like the outcome is still good for you, but you need to pose it as I'm making your job easier. Hey, here's how you actually say my name. And did you know I have this going on? That's a cool story that maybe you could
Mhm,
run with if you have nothing else to talk about, you know?
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that.
Yes. Okay, so we've
Right.
talked a lot about like how to be a character, how to build your brand, like how to set this up episodically so people want to follow your story. That's all good and well from the racer's point of view. What do you think sponsors are looking for when they're
Mm,
going to a racer's social media?
good question. So, I feel like they in my experience, first off, they're looking for consistency. And so, I mean, yeah, if you're doing a series, not that, you're required to do a series or episodes, it just flows good and helps with the views and the followers and all that stuff. But I think they're just first off looking for like, are you someone that's actually present online? And then how are you showing up? And how are you showing up for your current partners? And so if you are doing a series, they'll probably look and see, okay, is this kind of more of an organic post where you're just, like for example, using like brake clean in the shop? Like, is it just something that like you're just always using and it just happens? Or is it kind of more where it is a promotional post, it's more staged, more about how the product helps you, what results you're getting from it, that type of thing. Um,
Mhm.
and honestly, I don't think sponsors are asking or looking for very much because I think they just like if they can get someone that's consistent, someone that is professional, like presents themselves well and does some good promotion, I think that's like all they need. But it's kind of hard to find someone that can check all three of those boxes. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, I think, I agree with all of those points. I think that consistency goes beyond the number of times you're posting too. I think consistency also is like, how consistently are you branding yourself?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
if in one post you're, this like bad boy persona and you're like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like really rowdy, but in the next post you're like a family man in a suit coat,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I think that that disconnect is going to show them like they don't even
Mhm.
know who they are, like they don't have a brand. How can I align my brand with something so inconsistent when I'm working really hard to
Yeah.
consistently come up the same way with our brand? So, like, I think consistency does go a long way there. I also do think that they look at follower count, and I think that it is important to be able to reach many people, but I think that increasingly people who are working for these companies are starting to recognize that you can buy followers. And
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
that they're starting to look beyond just the number of followers you have and instead look at what is the engagement that these followers are having with your content and with your brand. So that's where I think the deeper dive into data starts to become really important. Not just I have 10,000 followers, but I have 10,000 followers and they're interacting with my stuff. They actually care what I have to say. They're following my story and they're emotionally invested in my success. So when I say that you're part of my success, they're going to naturally be aligned with your brand too.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, you said that perfectly. I love that.
Yeah. I think too, you mentioned professionalism, and I think a lot of racers get really hung up on this because I agree. It is so important to come across as a professional on your content. But I think a lot of racers confuse professionalism with polish. And
Mm.
I don't think that you need a ton of heavily edited content. I don't think you have to go out there and
Yeah.
pretend to be like a consummate professional, like a business person if you're not. But I do think you need to go out there and treat people with respect and consistently, show up with your own brand as a professional, whatever that brand is. Like if your brand is like rough and tumble and like you're dropping F bombs every other word and like but you're building a strong following doing that, like most people wouldn't consider that professional. I probably wouldn't consider that professional.
Yeah.
And I
Right?
think you are going to count certain brands out, but I think you're also going to count
Mhm.
certain brands in because of
Yeah.
that too.
Mhm.
And so I think when we're talking about professionalism, I think we're really talking about like understanding why a brand buys in and catering to that, not necessarily just having the best produced media with this corporate undertone.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and that's like so to kinda go along with what you said, like, brands that will not attract towards that or some that will, like, align with it, like, so off the top of my head, I was thinking, like, VP versus Fuel Factory, and
Sure.
VP is more of the risque, the yeah, like, rough and rowdy racers, like, they're just trying to be anywhere and everywhere, and Fuel Factory is a new company. It's a kind of branched off of VP in a way, but they have completely opposite values. They are faith driven, family oriented. Like, so they don't want people that are going to be posting swimsuit pictures or dropping F bombs, right? Like, they'll do more of
Yes.
the where it's mom and pop racing with their son or daughter, or just the person that is more nice and kind and put together, and yeah, like, that portrays on their social media, but, like, when you do an application, because I think both of those companies just have, like, an application that you can apply for at the end of the year, like, to get a discount or product sponsorship, like, the first thing they do is gonna go look at your social media,
Yes.
and especially, like, if they don't know who you are, because one thing, like, you could do when, like, we're going to PRI or, like, SEMA show, of course, we want, encourage everyone to go make a good first introduction, have a good first impression with them, but that could be completely different than who you actually are
Yes.
online, and so if they don't like both of those pieces, then they might turn you down, and,
Mhm.
so that's another thing to think about, like, are you actually, like, the same person as like, if a fan meets you at the track, like, are you still that same person online too?
Yes, I love that, and I think too, like you mentioned, the interaction that you have with somebody at a trade show like PRI or SEMA or something is it probably will look different than the way you're portraying yourself online, right? Like, online is gonna be a lot more hopefully, a lot more raw and personal than something you would say to a stranger in a,
Right?
a
Yeah.
marketing role or something. But I think too, like, understanding why you're presenting yourself the way you do online and being able to articulate the value of that to a marketing person, like, "Hey, I just
Mhm.
want you to know, like, if you go out and look at my social media, you're gonna see, like, I get pretty rowdy, but I found that that works really well to connect with a younger demographic, that I think
Mhm.
would actually be really interested in buying your product." Like, if you're able to say that instead of
Nailed
them
it.
going out there and being surprised by it, but drawing
Yeah.
that back again, not to you, not like, "Well, I've been able to build a bigger following." No, I'm able to connect with an audience that would buy your product, like, bring that back to
Mhm.
them and the problems
Yeah.
they're trying to solve instead.
Mhm. Yeah, and kinda going back to what you said, like, make their job easier. Like, how can you,
Yes.
like, in your deck, if you got all these data points of, like, demographics and engagement and views and reach and followers and all that stuff, like, those numbers are great, but, yeah, how can you tie that back to them? And by doing that, you are
Yes.
making their job easier, so that way they don't have to go through and read pages and paragraphs inside of your deck that you're sending to them. It could be just as simple as, like, a couple of lines, and that's all you would need.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And if you're saying, like, my audience is aged 25 to 45 on average, and you leave it there, they're going to say, "So what? So is everybody else's." But if you say,
Yeah.
"My audience is in the transition of becoming like the highest buying power, and they've already expressed interest in purchasing sunglasses in the next year," and you can position that to like
Yeah.
a heat wave or something, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot more traction than if you just say, "My audience is 25 to 45."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, for real. But, yeah, I think we get caught up in, like, I don't know, I think we just overthink it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, we need to simplify, but that's kind of the challenge, I think, with
Yes.
it and with pitching. And so we go back to, okay, well, decks that are 15 to 20 pages long because we wanna list every accomplishment and every data point that we have on our
Yeah,
audience
and nobody cares.
because, like, that's what's comfortable, like, that's what we're kinda used to, and but, yeah, nobody cares, like, we need we need to
Yeah.
get out of that old school mindset, and, again,
Yeah.
I think that's why, like, we wanted to start this podcast because, like, I think racers are, like, just digging themselves into this hole, and because, like, they think this is the way they're supposed to do it, but it's not the easiest or the best way to go about finding sponsors, and that it could be a lot
Yes.
easier if you just simplify, but it could be
Yeah.
harder. It's not
You know
easier, but it'll work.
Yeah, there's more work involved for sure, but there's a lot more yeses involved because of
Mhm,
the work you put in.
mhm,
You know, I've been thinking about this a lot lately is the way that racers traditionally have approached sponsorship is like they do to like applying for a job, right? And I do think that when you are hired as a partner, because that's realistically what happens, right? You form a contract with a company and you are hired
mhm,
into a position of solving a problem, right? But I think we look at it too much like a job. and too little like a contractor coming in, right? So, like, when we think about what kind of documents and information we're providing to a company when we're looking for a job, is we go out, we find a job listing first off, which partnerships don't work that way. 99% of the time, you're not going to go out there and be like, okay, what partnerships are open right now, unless you're just like signing up for a discount program, right? But and then we give them our resume or our deck or whatever documents we have prepared, and it's listing out all of our achievements and stuff, right? That's a lot like we do when we're submitting a job application.
Yeah. Mhm.
But if we flip the script and instead we say, well, I am an independent, like, freelancer, basically. I'm going out there and instead of finding a job, I'm finding work. I need to go out and sell my services to
Yeah.
somebody. So now I'm not going out there to find a job application and put in my resume. Now I'm going out there to say, I offer this solution, this service, but I need to find a
Mhm.
company that has a problem that I can solve, and then I need to sell it to them. That's how
Yeah.
partnerships actually
Yes.
work. So, you're not going to, if you're running your own business and you're trying to find work freelancing, you're not going to go to a business and give them your resume. You're going to give them maybe a portfolio of work that you've already done, right? So
Mhm.
you're going to say, I made an impact in this way in these other jobs because they were having this problem and I provided this solution and this was the measurable impact that came out of it. So, like, that's what you should be showcasing in your deck and in your opening emails and things like that, is like, I recognize that you have the same problem as somebody that I've already helped. Or I see this problem and I'm proposing this solution to fix it. It's all about them and it's not at all about you until they're buying your product.
Mhm. Gosh, I love that. Like, you nailed it perfectly. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's exactly, like, we just need to, like, just mic drop right there. Like, that's it.
I
Like, there's
already
nothing else
dropped my mic.
to add on. So, yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah, like, that's literally all it is. And it's not, "Hey, I have a race car, like, I can advertise for you. Let me put your
Mm-mm,
sticker on my car."
mm-mm, mm-mm.
So, yeah, I have
It's not.
nothing else to add. Nailed it.
It's not. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be hard to switch gears after that because it's just something I'm so passionate about,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah,
you got
I
it.
I don't know, and I know too, like, so many of the racers that are out there, they're running their own businesses. We've got, like,
Mhm.
contractors and construction people and people who are running automotive shops or apparel businesses or whatever, and it's like, how do you find business for that? Like, how do you partner with companies for
Exactly.
that work and do the same thing? You're just doing the same thing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, but they don't have that same, like, mindset with it, which is like, I don't get it. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you're
yeah,
not
I totally
applying for a job,
understand.
you're finding freelance work.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Alright,
Ugh.
so do you wanna switch gears?
Yeah, let's.
Okay,
We're gonna need a hard
so
reset.
yeah, alright, so let's go back to social media. So, okay, do you wanna talk about the algorithms?
Yeah, I
Okay,
have feelings about the algorithms.
okay, spill the tea.
So, I don't know, maybe we wanna talk maybe a little bit about, like, what the algorithms are before I get into
Okay,
my
yeah.
feelings,
Yeah, let's
because
explain. Yeah. So,
yeah.
okay, so from my understanding, there's back in the day, it used to just be one algorithm and, kind of specifically for like Instagram and Facebook, and it was just by time. So, if someone posted at 12 o'clock, you would see that, or if someone posted at 1 o'clock. And then that's when the importance of, okay, I need to post at like my peak time of when my audience is going to be online. That's when that was like, all the rave. And then I don't know, like 2016, 17, 18 ish, I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that's when it started to change instead of being like chronologically, then it was more of the like what we see today is interest based. And so then I think it went off of, okay, this is who you're following, this is who you're interacting with the most. So we'll show you more of their posts instead of just whoever posted in the timeline. Um and now I think it's just based completely off of the topic and not at all about if you follow this person or not. And,
Mhm.
like, I'll see posts. I think most of my, like, Instagram feed is more of people I don't follow and posts
Mhm.
that are even, like, 2 months old because it's got that same topic of what I spend more time watching and interacting with. But there's an algorithm for your feed, there's an algorithm for your stories, there's an algorithm for the reels, the explore tab, and so there's not just one algorithm anymore, like, there's multiple algorithms, and they are changing, like, every single day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and I think, like, the most important thing to understand about the algorithms, you don't have to know how they work, and you don't have to know how to cheat them. You just need to understand that the algorithms are showing people things that they interact with and that they spend time on, and that, like, the algorithm is picking up that they either enjoy or, frankly, sometimes things that they disagree with or that, frankly, get them to spend more time on the platform, so
oh my gosh, Adam is a prime example of this because he only interacts with posts like, he watches the dumbest videos of where people are doing bad stuff and they get caught and they get in trouble, and he will comment on those posts. And then he doesn't understand that he is seeing more of those types of videos
'cause he's
because
just
he's
being rage
interacting with
baited.
them. Yes, and I'm just like, "Babe, you have to stop, okay? Because then it literally will affect his mood. Because 'cause
Yes.
it'll, like, get him into, like, a bad mood, and then it, like, comes on to me, and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, like, you need to stop watching
Just
those
scroll
videos
past, buddy.
and commenting on them." Like, he is old school, so he doesn't quite understand that, like, if I interact with this, I'll see more of this type of topic.
Yes, and you can't just lurk either, like, if you
Oh,
spend time just
yeah,
watching the video, like, sometimes the hook will get me on a video, and I'll sit and I'll
yeah,
watch it, and I'll be like, "Oh, god damn it, I just ruined my algorithm, like, now I'm gonna see more like this, and this is
yeah.
not something I actually wanna see more of."
Yeah, yeah, for real. I know there's, like, one thing, because, like, we're working on, like, the farmhouse, and so I've been looking up of, like, paint colors or, like, what cabinets to do, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
now I just have, like, a ton of, like, interior design videos, and it's like, "Okay, like, I've picked everything out, like, I don't need to see this anymore."
Yes. Yeah, this is why Chip and Joanna is top of mind for you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah.
You got some shiplap in your future.
We did. We did do some shiplap.
I love that so much.
But yeah,
Oh, just a long pause too, like, yeah, we did.
guilty.
Ah, too funny. No, no, okay, so going back to algorithms and, just spending time watching stuff and whatnot, like, okay, so in doing all of these racer reviews, I've been seeing so many people that are posting the same stuff like over and over again. Like I'll see it on one racer's profile and then I'll see it on 16 more. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not unique or creative, but they're just like trying to catch this viral hook or this like
Mhm.
trend because they saw it work well somewhere else. Right. And it's like,
Yes.
okay, to a point that's gonna like draw new people in, but if that's all you're posting is this stuff where you're trying to like game the algorithms, you're never going to build an actual connection with your audience. And like I hate it so much and
Mhm.
everybody knows what it is, right? When you go
I
to a
agree.
profile and all you see is like the same viral hooks that you see everywhere else, like I
Mhm.
don't want to spend time looking at that. I've already seen it
Yeah.
6 million times, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So, I don't see it quite as much now because I think people have caught on that, like, "Oh, okay, maybe, like, this isn't gonna get me the results I want," but, like, 3 years ago, I was seeing it everywhere, and it was the same text in the same font, like the same style, everything would be exactly the same, they would just change out their videos, right? And I know that
Mhm.
there was actually a company doing this that racers would hire to
Oh
be their
god.
social media manager, and that's why they were all the same because it was literally the same person just doing it for all these different people, so
Oh.
they use the same template, and I think we've caught on now of, like, okay, yeah, like, I've seen that a million times, like, I'm not gonna interact with it, and so I think that's gone away, thankfully, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, maybe I don't know. If you think it's gone away, maybe you should do some racer
Okay.
reviews because
Yeah.
if I
So on
see
my feed, it's I don't see it quite as much on my
it's
feed,
because 'cause you're not
so
interacting with it, that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
my Racer on Demand feed is ruined. Like, it is complete
Mhm.
trash now because I've just watched so many pieces of content of things that I'm watching because I need to be critical about it, but I would never spend the time watching otherwise, you
Yeah,
know? Oh, it's
yeah.
just completely ruined. But no, if
Mhm.
I see like one more post of only real racers know the race line in this corner,
Oh,
or another one where there's a cortisol like graph or like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a gauge, like a cortisol
oh,
gauge at the
yeah.
bottom where it's showing them on a racetrack and their cortisol is like good or bad depending on whatever. Like if I see another one of those, I'm gonna just throw my phone out the window. I don't know. At this point, I'm borderline refusing to review profiles that have those.
If you have you're gonna boycott the ones that have that on their feed.
Yes, yes. I already did say on one of them, I was like, if your profile picture is a picture of your car or your helmet, I'm not reviewing you because I've told you so many
Mm,
times it needs to be your
yeah,
face.
mhm, I agree.
So yeah, now
Yeah.
people will comment like with their car as their profile picture and they'll be like, are you still not reviewing people with cars for profile pictures? It's like, you know that it should be
Yeah,
something
you
else.
can
Like just
answer
fix
your
it.
own question. That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah.
Ugh. No, but
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
the way that I feel about the algorithms,
Yeah.
though, is I feel like people put so much pressure on themselves to understand the algorithms and they like start to try and game it instead of just
Mhm,
putting out content that actually engages people. Like just
mhm.
think about who am I talking to and what do they want to see? Like that's how
Yeah.
you game the algorithm, so to speak.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's again, yeah, it just to it doesn't have to be we don't have to overthink it. We
No.
can simplify. But yeah, if we're sharing a story, and especially if it's something that is like a chronological, like a build, then yeah, like people will they'll get sucked into it. And
Uh-huh.
so I feel like yeah, that's kind of like the easiest way to go about it, but it takes more effort to think of that storyline and how am I going to record an intro or the hook, and how am I going to, record how I'm building this? Because I know, like, with Adam, like, doing his build for Ultra 4, like, there's been so many times where I'll be like, "Okay, stop. I need to record this. Like, I need you to maybe can you take that bolt out so I can put, like, a camera angle here?" And then, like, start
Then
and
put it back
he
in.
gets so pissed off, and he's like, "I just wanna get this done." And I'm like, "I know, but this would be, like, so good like, we need to share this." So
Yes. You know what? I
uh,
love the fact that you just said, like, good content takes work. Like, you will never put out good content without being intentional and putting some forethought into it. Like, it doesn't happen by accident.
mhm. Yeah, or on the other side of that, if you have something where it's like you recorded, like, in the moment, you posted it right away, like, it's just fresh, like, it was something maybe it was, like, a story, and you just posted it onto your feed, so there's, like, no editing, like, no production, but it was, like, just
Yeah.
so raw, real in the moment, and people are, like, emotionally invested, then that could, like, pop off, and, like, we've seen that happen, like, I'll do that, like,
Yes.
I'll post something of, like like so okay, so for us on the Rainy My Racing page, like, we do some more professional style,
Uh-huh.
more highly produced stuff from our guy, John Willie, but
Yay.
every now and then I'll tell him, "Hey, I just want an iPhone video of just, like, the car going off the starting line and then showing, like, the crews like, standing behind them, being able to see their reaction, cheering." And I'll just post that, no thought into it, but
Yes.
those will do well because it is, like, so like, people are tied into the story of, like, "Hey, like, we're trying like, we've been fighting so hard to, like, win this race," or, "We've got this new driver," or blah, 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 blah. Like, they'll already kinda be invested in it, I think because, like, they'll just be, through following us and knowing, like, uh like working way up our way up to this point, and then, yeah, just kind of that simple, like in the moment, like don't overthink it.
Mhm.
Those do really well. And like I'll come back the next day and be like, oh my gosh, this has, this many views. Like I didn't think that type of video would work. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I've seen that happen too, but I think it because it goes along with the story. It wasn't just like some
Yes.
random, hey, like, just like another day at the shop. Like it was, yeah, like
That's
there was kind of that story element behind it.
That's exactly what I
So
was gonna say, is sometimes the hard work isn't in the video, it's in building the context that that video fits into
yeah.
and understanding, like, the story that you're trying to tell and the brand that you're trying to uphold because, like, if you just put out, like, a random video from behind the scenes, but you've never told your story and people have no idea where you are or what you're competing in or why you're, doing what you're doing, but then you just do like a behind the scenes of like your crew cheering for you, they're gonna be like, "I don't even know what this is in relation to." Right?
Mhm.
Like, I
Yeah.
where are you competing this weekend? Like, I don't remember a 6-month countdown leading up to this point. Like, why is everybody so excited?
Yeah, yeah, for real. Yeah. So I guess to kinda go along with that, my piece of advice for listeners and viewers is to do like an introduction reel or a post because those always do well for me. Like I need to do them more
Mhm.
frequently because yeah, they always do well. And it could be just a simple like I think the last one I did was a clip of me where like I'm putting my suit and my helmet on, but I had text on top that said, "Hey, I'm Megan. I'm from Kansas. I'm a drag racer. I'm getting into off-road. Like, I love cats. Like like, I'm a
Yes.
mom." Like, it was just, like, listed off just, like, a couple of facts. I need to
Cat
actually do
grandma.
another one. Like, yes, now a cat grandma. So it's funny, I posted on my Facebook, my personal account of, like, this morning, like, "Hey, we have kittens now," and I commented, I was like, "So my cat count is up to 12. At what level am I officially a crazy cat lady?"
I think it was somewhere around 3, Megan.
3. Oh, man. But yeah. But
No, you're
anyways,
right,
so
though.
I would say, like, yeah, for the viewers and listeners, like, do an introduction post, whether it's a video, a text, or, like, just a picture or a carousel, or if you wanna do, like, all in the caption, just do something, and then you can pin that as your
Yes.
top post, and, I think, like, we need to refresh that every year. Like, I actually had one where I was talking to the camera but for some reason the audio got removed. So
Mm.
thankfully I had the captions where you could, what I'm saying, but there was no audio. So I need to record another one, or maybe do just like a B-roll one with text. But yeah, those always do well, especially because like if you ever look at I know Instagram will show you how many follows and unfollows you got. And so, yeah, if you've got a couple new followers each month, they might not exactly know who you are or what your history is. So
Yes.
it'll be good to kind of remind them, or even those that might be following you for a long time and they probably just don't see your posts that often anymore now.
Yes, 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 yes. And I think, like you said, create one, update it every year. Like, honestly, I think you should introduce yourself like almost monthly, especially
Yeah.
if you are growing your
Yeah.
content. And not only like who you are and what you're doing, but like bring in the why somebody would want to follow you. Like, what
Hmm.
kind of content are you posting? So, like, I'm Amanda Vanden Elzen and I run Racer on Demand. We help racers build partnerships. And you can expect to see educational content on how to grow your following and how to attract sponsors and keep them. Like what kind of value, again, we're thinking about our audience, like what kind of value can they expect to get from you? And like, for Megan Meyer Racing, it's like, well, like I'm Megan Meyer and I'm a drag racer and I'm going into off road and you can expect to see my family and my racing and the behind the scenes and my cats, like
Yeah. And my cats.
because when somebody
That's gonna be my reality show thing that people remind me as the crazy cat lady.
it's going to be called Cat Grandma.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, I'm team Arctic Cat, so
Oh, yeah, that's
it's just the
true.
natural fit. I
That's
mean,
true. Now you just got to get
was it
Puma
on
on
purpose?
board.
Yeah. Yeah, all the cat brands.
Yes. Be like powered by Friskies.
Yeah, okay.
I will
Okay.
say, okay,
We could do that.
as somebody who has a cat that only has 2 teeth and needs wet food every day, like 5 times a day, I would gladly take a wet food sponsorship, like, product only like, sign me up.
Yeah. Seriously.
That shit's
I
expensive.
know. It is. It is. Yeah. Oh, man.
Are you crying?
Oh, yeah. Or just because I put some mascara on, like, 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, or that. I
Oh,
like that
man.
we're laughing so hard we're crying better. That's a
Yeah.
way better story, but okay. Um, before we wrap up, I wanna talk about, like, what tech or tools
Okay.
make social media easier?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, okay, one thing I think I've talked about this, but like my number one thing is like when actually posting is edits, using that to post to
Mhm.
Instagram and Facebook because yeah, we've just get. I mean, it's not you're not guaranteed like every reel is gonna do well, but ours do pretty well. So I'm gonna keep doing that. And then I don't really use like the Meta Business Suite to post anymore or to even look at the analytics because I use AutoFluencer for that. Um,
Can I just chime
and
in?
yeah.
2 things. So first off, edits. I love edits, and it is buggy as hell sometimes, but have you seen all the new features and stuff they've been
Yeah.
adding? Like,
Uh-huh.
I've been using the remove silences
Yes.
button, and it
Mhm.
just, like, it makes everything, like, so much more, like, choppy, and it keeps people's
Yeah.
attention. And then also, Meta Business Suite, I found out literally late last night. I've been trying to figure out how to make it work, but you can do, like, do you know ManyChat where it's like comment this
Yes.
word and I'll send you a link? You can do that natively through Meta Business Suite now. You can build that
Oh,
and it's free.
wow. Okay.
So that's just something
Okay,
that
yeah.
you may want to take
Yeah.
advantage of.
Yes, yeah, because I was paying for ManyChat when I was doing more promotional stuff with the business,
Yes.
but I haven't really been doing that, especially because I haven't the website's still down, so I don't really have anything to promote on there right now, but that's good to know. That's gonna
Yes.
change because I know tons of people not in racing world, but just entrepreneurs, social media coaches, they all use ManyChat, so that's interesting.
Yes.
That's gonna
But even
change a
for,
lot.
like, a racer, could you imagine if it's just, like, you do, like, a behind the scenes post and you're, promoting your partner's product and you say, like, "Comment gunk and I'll send you the link to where you can buy this,"
Mhm.
and so you're not the
Yeah.
algorithms, they wanna keep people on the platform, so if you're putting links in, like, a Facebook caption or, like, you're even saying, like, "link in bio" or something, like, a lot of times that'll downgrade people being able to see your
Mhm.
content, but if you are directing people like, "Hey, do you wanna know where you can find this? Just comment 'gunk' and I'll send you the link." Like, then you're driving people to actually interact with your stuff. People who want it are gonna opt in. You'll be able to document how many people were able to, like, click through this and all that stuff, so it's a really, really powerful tool to be able to send a link in a message. I also
Mhm.
learned that the, like, number 1 signal on Instagram right now for interaction is DMs. So if
Okay.
somebody DMs you from a
Mhm.
reel or, like, a post or something, it spikes the views that it, like, pushes that out for. So that's another great way is just taking things into your DMs.
Mhm. Yeah, and so I think for those that don't know, because I don't think we explained, like, what ManyChat does,
No.
but yeah, so you tell it, "Hey, look for this keyword." And so, yeah, like, let's just say "gonk." So if someone in the comments has the word "gonk," and it could be, in a sentence, it doesn't have to be, like, just the words, like, standalone, but if they use that keyword, then ManyChat or Meta Business Suite now is
Yes.
going to send them a message automatically. So it happens like within seconds, but you have to tell the software what you want that message to be. So it could be like, "Hey, I saw you commented on my gunk post. Here's that link to go see the, brake clean or engine degreaser or whatever." And then you could have
Yes.
um make sure you do talk to the company though, to figure out where they want that link to go, like if they have a preferred partner or retailer, or if they want it like just straight to their website.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, so then it'll send that link, and sometimes like it shows up as a button in the message. But yeah, that's something that yeah, like it can be a game changer to help with your engagement, because then if someone comments on your video in like the middle of the night, you're not going to see that and manually send them a message. So it's so nice to have for it to automatically do that. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
could send them like, if you got new merchandise, you can just say, "Hey, comment the word shirt, and I'll send you the link to go get your new shirt."
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, you can set that all up. So, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'll have to look that up.
Yes. Sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted your,
Oh, no, you're good.
tech tools, but
Yeah,
what else?
you're good.
What else?
Okay, well, okay, so speaking of Meta Business Suites, one other thing that I saw, because I was playing around in there last week, and did you see their AI bot that they have in there? I think it's called, like,
No.
Manus
Oh,
or
sure. Yeah, Manus is
it's
Meta's
okay,
model.
yeah, started with an M. But yeah, so I actually did that, and, because it was so Mondays is the day where I'm, like, planning out my content for the week or for the month, and so I was going back and looking at some other posts, and I saw that, like, pop up, and I clicked on it. I was like, "Okay, what is this?"
Yeah.
And so you can log into your Facebook through it. So it's not automatically connected, but it'll have a pop-up. You can log into your Facebook, and I asked it, "Go through my audience and my engagement and tell me what my fans' interests are." And it was cool because it sent me this really detailed report, and, like, you could tell it obviously had read through the comments and looked through what people are engaging with, instead of, like, where it's with ChatGPT, I don't think it could go, like, that in depth with it.
No.
So that was really cool.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
play around with that. I'm trying to figure out for my Racer on Demand audience, it skews really young right now, and
Mm,
I'm trying
okay.
to figure out how to attract, because like, this is gonna sound terrible, but, like, kids aren't going to be signing up to sell on my merch marketplace, right? So, like,
Right.
ultimately, my goal is to bring more racers onto our platform. So, like, how do I start to skew towards the, like, 25 and up kinda crowd, you know? It's gotta
Yeah.
it's gotta be people who will actually purchase my service.
Right.
So that might be
Yeah.
really interesting to play with.
Yeah, yeah. Play around with it, see what you think. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of what other, like, tech that I use.
So
I really just don't do, like, a whole lot, I guess.
you mentioned using Manus to, like, um I guess look at your audience and stuff. I actually used ChatGPT to build out a content calendar, but I also helped it like kind of think through who my target audience probably is. Like it's not going to have the data like the Facebook one will. But I did it as a course too. So I can link that course in our show notes cuz you can just go out and use all of my prompts. But I used it basically to like help me think through like what are the goals that I have for my social media, like who am I actually trying to reach? And like then took that to form my target audience and then used my target audience and my branding to help determine what my content pillars should be. And
Mm,
content pillars for people like I did not know what that meant before I started like working in the branding and social media space, but a content pillar is basically like a topic that you could post about over and over again. So like for Racer on Demand, like sponsorship advice is a content pillar. You know, it's not a direct post, but it's a pillar that I can post about all the time. Or like our podcast snippets are a content pillar, or like the Racer reviews are a content pillar. Right. So I had it go through like defining those content pillars for me. And then from those content pillars, I was able to get it to write out a 30-day content calendar of very specific posts that meet my goals, my target audience, my content pillars. And then I could take each of those posts and break that down into like an Instagram reel script or like a carousel post and what I should have in there. And like, obviously, we don't want to rely on AI to do our social media for us, but if we can
Mhm,
work with it hand in hand and feed it
mhm.
what I know and then take it and tweak it to like fit my voice a little bit better, like this was
Yeah.
such a huge time saver and it really helped me think a lot more deeply about like how to connect to my audience.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I love that you said, like, we need to use it, like, as a tool and
Mhm.
not to, like, replace us because I think that's another thing, like, you can kinda tell, and just mostly in, like, the captions, if something
Yes.
was written by, ChatGPT or another AI, and so yeah, like, I'll use it, so what I'll do is, like, I'll write out a caption, and then I'll copy and paste it over to chat and be like, "Okay, how can" 'cause I'll write it out as if I was saying it, and it's like, "Okay, how can this sound, more professional or, uh, you know,
Mhm.
more" what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just a smarter versus, like, just, so, like, voice to text. And so, like, I'll then, like, tweak what it says so it still sounds like me, but it'll just come across, I think, a little bit better, like, especially if I, like, missed something or had, like, run off sentences and all that type of stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
kinda using it more for, like, the grammar and, anything like that versus just like, "Hey, write out all these captions," and then I'm just gonna, like, copy and paste and done.
Yes, I would say like 99% of the time my prompt into ChatGPT is, "Can you revise this for clarity?" I think clarity is
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
best way to just like take something, put it in, and it'll simplify it. Or like oftentimes too, I ask it to keep it at a seventh grade reading level because like the
yeah.
majority of people are not trying to tax their brains when they're going through social media. So being
Mhm.
able to keep things simple, concise, and clear is super important. It's a great tool for it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, so
Yeah.
I do want to kinda go back. I had mentioned AutoFluencer,
Yes.
and so I know we've talked about it a few times on the show, but for anyone that's doesn't quite know what it is. So AutoFluencer is not going to help you get sponsors. It's more of a tool to use once you have a partner in place and you're promoting them on your social media and you want to figure out what is the performance of that and how can I show a return on their investment. So that's kind of more what AutoFluencer is for. So if you are kind of someone that's brand new or you don't have any partners yet, you might not need it, but there is a free version of it. So, we have it set up to where AutoFluencer will always be free up to 2 campaigns, which basically means you're tracking 2 different sponsors. Once you have more than 2 sponsors that you're wanting to track, then that's where there is a paid membership version, and there's other perks with that as well. I go in once a quarter and do a coaching call. We have some other tools on the platform as well. We're working on stuff all the time as well. Like we're working on one for to show like your follower count and your post data overall because right now it's just what is tied to a specific sponsor. So like for Gunk,
Mhm.
if I mention Gunk in a post, it will track that post. But if I do a post where, maybe it's like just me being a mom, it's not gonna mention Gunk. It's then AutoFluencer doesn't track that. So we're working on like, hey, how can we see all of our post data? What's the engagement rate
Oh, yeah.
overall? Our follower count, like how is that growing month over month? So we're working on all different types of stuff like that. But
I
um,
like that. I like that a lot
yeah.
because I feel like, when you're looking at just the campaign or like just the times that you mention a sponsor or tag or hashtag or however you're tracking that, right? If you're looking at just that little like sliver of your content, then I think you miss the whole brand alignment side of it, right? A lot of these brands, yeah, they want you to push their products, but they're partnering with you because they want to be associated with the person that you are and the audience that you're connecting with. So,
Mhm.
being able to show
Yeah.
like the earned media value of yourself is really important too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Well, and Another thing is to get, like, the demographic information on there because
Oh,
right now that's
yeah.
not on there. So, yeah, that's another thing because one thing that you can do once you have an account in AutoFluencer is there are applications, so you can go and apply to other companies to be a brand ambassador, and it is usually just discount or product only deals that, also have, like, an affiliate link so you could make a small commission, but all that information is on your profile. So you don't have to like really fill out an application. You just have to like click a button, say, yes, I want to apply for this. There might be a
Yeah.
couple questions. So for example, Covercraft was one of the brand partners on there that had an open application and they specifically wanted people that had trucks. And so
Mhm.
that was one of their questions of like, okay, what is your truck that you have? Um, so I was able to apply for that, thankfully, because my husband's got a nice F-150 and he had been looking for seat covers, and I was like, "Great, I can get some for
Here we
free
go.
now." So that was a nice little gift for him. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
so
saw that video, those look really cool too.
yeah, yeah, thanks. He's still got them too, so they're still in good shape. But yeah, so I use AutoFluencer to track what we're doing for our partners. And actually, because we just finished up Q1, so I had used it to send out some cool quarter one reports, which we had so for me, like I have a certain KPI that I wanna reach at the end of
Yeah.
each quarter, and so then I was, like, looking at it a few weeks before in March, and it's like, "Okay, like, we're not quite there yet." So then it's like, "Okay, we need to, like, ramp it up of, like, for this specific sponsor, like, we need to do a couple more promotional posts for them, like, showing the product, how we're using it at the track. And thankfully, by then, we were starting our race season. So we had some fresh new content that we could get at the track, and it wasn't just us in the shop or stuff from last year that I had been reusing. So
Yeah.
that was a nice little push there to get over the hurdle and now kick off Q2 with like that momentum. So that's why
Yeah.
I love to use AutoFluencer for that. And then it's also nice, like when you send off this report to the sponsors and they reply back and they're like, "Great job! Like keep up what you're doing. Like we love it." It's like, okay, cool. I'm on
Yeah.
the right track. So, but yeah, I do want to share for the listeners that we've got a custom coupon code. So right now, AutoFluencer is on sale for the membership, and that is going till sometime at the end of May. And so, typically for membership, again, if you have more than 2 sponsors you wanna track, then you'll need the membership. It is normally $49 per month. It is currently on sale for $29 per month, so almost 50% off. But if you use coupon code ROD, then you'll get a little extra bump there to save even more on the membership. So, we can link that in the show notes.
Yeah. Yep. I can. Megan, you're gonna have to send me that link though, because
Yes, I will
I don't know
send
what it's
you the
gonna look
link.
like, but I will link
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a cool tool. Like when we talk about looking professional, it's not just about like the posts that you make looking professional, it's also about how you're approaching your partners and looking professional. And what better
Mhm.
way than to have another way to make their jobs easier, right? They get to turn around and justify your expense, the expense that they have paying you or giving you product or discounts, and turn around and say, "Well, this is why, because they gave us
Mhm.
this much in earned media value." So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, and that's
a cool
what's
tool.
is so nice that I love that it does have that earned media value because I think that's what separates it from, like, other software and platform that can do like, yeah, like, we can track your social media, like, we can tell you all the numbers, but I don't think I've seen anything else out there that has an earned media value to it, and the
Yeah.
fact that you can separate it out, like, by campaign. So, like,
Yeah.
for us, like, Gunk is our biggest sponsor, so we've got an actual for like the calculation there for earned media value, it's a little bit higher versus one of our other partners where we're not contractually required to do as much about them
Yeah.
on social media. So yeah, so I love that you're able to then separate it out. It's not just like a one size fits all. But also one thing that makes it really cool too is that it does scheduled automated reporting. So you can
Mm.
have it so like every Monday it sends me an email of like, okay, here's the results from this past week for each of the partners. And then you can add their email address. So then it just automatically sends the report to the sponsor. So then you don't even have to try to do
Oh,
it.
that's
So that's what's
cool.
nice about it too.
You know what's cool about that too is, like, when I'm watching videos about, like, how to get the most out of your social media, oftentimes they talk about, like, repeating the same structure or even sometimes just repeating the same posts, 30 or 60 or 90 days later, but you need to look for the ones that are performing really well, and if you already have a report that, like, breaks it down for you so you don't have to do the research on what's
Mhm.
working well on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, like, you can just look and see, "Oh, this post did really well. I'm gonna make more like that."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's actually what we have done. So I will use like I do like a 30-day like calendar, and if I see like a certain style that did well for us, I will actually so for me, like, I use ClickUp to track all of my posts because, like, I wanna see it in a list that I can, like, check off,
Yeah.
and so if I have one that, like, did well, instead of, like, checking it off and, like, it'll, disappear because it's done, I'll duplicate it and say, like, "Okay, in 60 days or in 90 days, do this exact same thing." So then that way,
Yeah.
like, my future content is already being planned, then it's got proven results behind it, so I know it will do well, and it's less like, I don't have to then try to come up with, like, "Okay, what's another new piece of content I could do?"
Yes.
And then, yeah, like, when we're working with, like, a videographer, then I'll be like, "Hey," like, for us, it's, like, slow-mo videos, so it's like, "Hey, slow-mo videos do really well for us, so I need you to get a bunch of slow-mo, like, launching off the starting line or doing a burnout," and, so then that way we can also have, like, a backlog of that content as well, but, yeah, it's
Yeah.
so easy. It does make it easier because then it's like, "Okay, like, this does well, so I'll repeat it," and then now, like, kinda what you're talking about, the pillars, I've pretty much have, like, on the Randy My Racing page, pretty much a different content pillar for each day,
Yeah.
and now it's like, okay, so I've got 7 pillars that I'm gonna do, and it's just easy to, like, kinda yeah, like, check it off, and I've been doing it for so long to kind of refine and know, like, okay, this type does work, this style doesn't work, so let's drop that pillar, let's try something else, and looking at the data, and now it's just like, I don't have to put as much thought into, like, planning content for that page,
Yes.
which is nice because now it's, like, really taking off, and, so then, like, before I was, like, stressing over everything and, like, "Why isn't this working?" And so just, yeah, like, years of research and, like, just trying stuff, and it's paying off, so it feels good.
Yay! Yes. I love, like, repurposing the,
Mhm.
like, structure of that content. I've also, like, maybe we should even just throw out there, like, who we're following to, like, get these ideas from, but, like, Brock Johnson is one of
Yeah.
them, and then, Ava Yerger, I think is her last
Yes.
name, from
Yeah, I don't know
Personal
how to say
Brand
it.
Launch.
Uh-huh.
Um, those 2, both of them sorry, both of them talk about, like, literally recycling your content and posting the exact same thing in another
Yeah.
30 or 60 or 90 days. So, like, I'll take content that I know did well, and I'll just schedule it to run again in, like,
Yeah.
30 or 60 or 90 days, but I
Yeah.
don't do that and then not post on those days. Instead, now I'm getting 2 and 3 posts a
Mm.
day because I have this content recycling and I'm creating new content. So I'm starting to see the benefits of posting like 2 to 3 times a day instead, and I don't have to work any harder for it. I'm just recycling
Mhm.
my content.
Yeah. Yeah. That I love that. That's yeah, that's where I got my idea from because 'cause I've been following those 2 for a really long time. Like, I've been
Yes.
following Brock and Shalene for, like, years. So, yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
that's good.
recently found Brock, but yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
was my inspiration for the daily, like, challenge to the racer
Yeah, that makes
reviews, so
sense. Yeah. Another one I like to follow is Modern Millie, and, yeah,
Mhm.
she's more on YouTube, but she does really good Instagram Reels. So she was someone that was just like an influencer and then turned into, like, a social media coach, and
Okay.
so now a lot of her content is teaching about, like, how to, like, do your hooks and, like, what are some different editing styles, um,
Oh,
and all that.
Modern
But
Millie.
she does a lot of really good just, yeah, like, educational stuff. Um, Her YouTube is really good, like I said. That's another
Yeah.
one that I like to follow.
Okay, I see her here, I'm following her now too.
Yeah.
I, um, I really like from, like, a structure standpoint, like, how to actually, like, tactically create the video. I follow one called, Chris Goor, like, Goor. Have you ever
Okay.
found
No,
his
I haven't heard
stuff?
of him.
Oh, it's
No.
so good. He'll talk about, like,
Yeah,
literally,
I'll
like,
follow.
how to film it. So, like, do, like, a wide shot and then walk into this shot, and if you put your camera this way and turn, like, this is a great hook, and he'll talk about, like, here's how to think of, like, how to deliver your script while you're making this visually appealing, like, so I really like that one too.
What was his name?
Chris Goor, Goor. I think it's, like, the Chris Goor is his handle.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah,
I am not following him. Okay,
I like
cool.
that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. He says, "Stop overthinking content."
Yes.
I think that's what
Yes.
we've been saying.
Yes, stop overthinking it.
Yep.
All right,
Cool.
we oh my god, we've been recording for an hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
This
whoops.
was a good episode,
It
I think.
was. I hope you guys are gonna have to tell us in the comments if it was good, if you
Yes.
learned stuff from it, but
Mhm.
yeah. Awesome. Well, we will see you in 2 weeks. We've got another guest coming on. I think you're gonna be really excited to hear from her. She's gonna, share some pretty cool insights from the standpoint of a marketing director. So we're gonna talk to her a lot about not just the marketing side, but also the sales side and how those 2 tie together. So come back in 2 more weeks. We'll have that episode up. Until then, though, we love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Threw my mouse on the ground.